Japan's $1 trillion investment in the United States, a transformative summit. On February 8, 2025, in a landmark summit held in Washington, D.C., Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced Japan's intention to invest up to $1 trillion, approximately 150 trillion yen, in the United States. This unprecedented commitment signifies a major step in enhancing economic ties and military cooperation between the two nations. Investment announcement. During the summit, Prime Minister Ishiba described the investment as a vital strategy aimed at bolstering bilateral relations and reducing the U.S. trade deficit with Japan. Both leaders engaged in discussions about this significant investment, which is expected to encompass various sectors including steel technology and energy. One of the key focal points was the ongoing negotiations concerning U.S. Steel Corporation. Ishiba highlighted Nippon Steel's interest in investing in U.S. steel, emphasizing that this investment would facilitate a more stable economic partnership and contribute to mitigating the trade imbalance. The discussions have been ongoing since December 2023, and while no firm agreement had been reached, Ishiba expressed optimism about the potential for collaboration. Defense spending initiatives. A critical aspect of the summit was the mutual commitment to defense. Prime Minister Ishiba announced Japan's plan to double its defense spending by 2027, reinforcing Japan's resolve to assume greater responsibility for its own defense. This move comes amidst growing security concerns in the region, particularly regarding North Korea. Both leaders reaffirmed the importance of military cooperation, with President Trump emphasizing the U.S. commitment to the defense of Japan. The summit highlighted the planned approval of $1 billion in foreign military sales to Japan, further solidifying the defense partnership. Ishiba articulated that Japan's increase in military spending is a sovereign decision, aimed at enhancing national security rather than solely following U.S. directives. Economic collaboration and energy imports. The discussions also encompassed broader economic collaboration. Japan expressed intentions to significantly increase imports of American liquefied natural gas (LNG), which aligns with the U.S. strategy to expand energy exports. President Trump noted that this collaboration would not only enhance Japan's energy security but also contribute positively to the U.S. economy. The summit also touched on potential investments in the automotive sector, with Japan's automotive giants including Nissan looking to establish new plants in the U.S. market. This investment is viewed as beneficial for both economies, fostering job creation and technological exchange. Public sentiment and domestic challenges. Despite the optimistic narrative surrounding the investment and defense initiatives, there are underlying domestic challenges in Japan. Prime Minister Ishiba faces criticism from segments of the Japanese populace regarding increased military spending, especially in the context of existing economic concerns such as inadequate pensions for the elderly. Many citizens are apprehensive about prioritizing military expenditures over pressing social issues like poverty and economic stability. The announcement of the $1 trillion investment comes at a time when Japan's aging population is struggling with low pensions, prompting public calls for increased focus on domestic welfare rather than military expansion. Ishiba's administration is tasked with balancing these domestic concerns while pursuing an assertive foreign policy. Conclusion: a new era of Japan-U.S. relations. In summary, Japan's commitment to investing $1 trillion in the United States marks a significant turning point in the bilateral relationship between the two nations. The summit underscored a shared vision of mutual economic benefits and enhanced military cooperation in response to regional security challenges. As both nations navigate this new era of collaboration, the impact of these decisions will extend beyond mere economic metrics, shaping the geopolitical landscape in the Asia-Pacific region for years to come. The commitment to increased investments in defense spending reflects a strategic alignment that may redefine the dynamics of Japan-U.S. relations, addressing both economic and security concerns while also navigating domestic challenges. Japan's announcement of a $1 trillion investment in the United States is indeed significant and carries several counterintuitive elements when we analyze the implications of this move. Counterintuitive insights. 1. Military spending versus domestic concerns. While Japan is committing to increase its defense spending, which may seem like a strong alignment with U.S. defense interests, it also reflects a domestic struggle. Japanese citizens, particularly the elderly, are facing economic challenges with inadequate pensions forcing many to work low-paying jobs. This juxtaposition raises questions about prioritizing military expenses over social welfare, which may seem counterintuitive in a society that values harmony and collective well-being. 2. Trade deficit reduction versus economic investment. Prime Minister Ishiba's assertion that this investment will help reduce the U.S. trade deficit with Japan appears contradictory. On one hand, increasing imports of American goods like LNG may alleviate the trade deficit, but simultaneously the investment in U.S. companies could also mean more Japanese capital flowing out of Japan. This duality complicates the narrative of reducing the trade deficit, suggesting that investment does not always lead to a straightforward economic benefit for the host country. 3. Nippon Steel's interest in U.S. steel. The ongoing negotiations between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel highlight a complex situation where Japan is not simply looking to acquire but rather invest. This distinction suggests a more strategic approach where Japan aims to influence the U.S. market without outright ownership, which contrasts with traditional notions of foreign investment that often involve acquisitions. This could indicate a shift in how global companies are approaching international investments. 4. Bilateral relations amidst domestic resistance. The strong commitment to enhancing Japan-U.S. relations comes at a time when there is significant public resistance within Japan regarding military collaboration and reliance on U.S. technologies. This resistance suggests a disconnect between government policies and public sentiment, where the government is pushing for deeper ties despite a populace that may prefer prioritizing domestic issues over international military cooperation. 5. Artificial intelligence collaboration. The discussions on staying at the forefront of artificial intelligence while Japan is historically cautious about foreign tech integration reflect a potential paradox. Japan's hesitation to fully embrace foreign AI technologies like those from U.S. companies could impede the very collaboration that leaders are advocating for. This may lead to a situation where Japan seeks to invest heavily in U.S. innovations yet remains reluctant to adopt them widely domestically. 6. Economic growth versus defense responsibility. The emphasis on Japan taking greater responsibility for its defense may seem to align with strengthening its military capabilities. Yet it also raises concerns about economic growth. Increased military spending could detract from investments in other critical areas such as infrastructure or technology development. This could hinder Japan's long-term growth prospects, creating a tension between immediate defense needs and sustained economic advancement. 7. U.S. military sales versus Japan's autonomy. The commitment from the U.S. to military sales to Japan, alongside Ishiba's insistence on Japan making independent decisions regarding its defense, raises questions about the true nature of autonomy in defense policy. This dynamic reflects a complicated relationship where Japan appears to be seeking greater sovereignty in military matters while simultaneously relying heavily on U.S. support, which can be seen as a contradictory stance. 8. Investment focus versus domestic industry growth. The focus on U.S. investments, especially in sectors like steel and technology, could be seen as a neglect of Japan's domestic industries, which may be struggling to compete on a global scale. This could lead to a scenario where Japan is investing in U.S. industries while its own companies face challenges, thereby paradoxically undermining its economic base. Conclusion. Japan's $1 trillion investment in the U.S. is laden with complexities and counterintuitive dynamics that challenge traditional views of international relations and economic strategy. The interplay between military responsibility, public sentiment, economic priorities, and global competitiveness reveals a multifaceted landscape where decisions made for strategic partnerships may not always align with domestic needs or public opinion. This investment initiative, while significant, underscores the intricate balancing act that Japan must navigate in a rapidly changing global environment. Japan's announcement of a $1 trillion investment in the United States is a landmark decision that has significant implications for both countries. While many aspects of the investment have been widely discussed, there are several important content areas within the report that are likely to be overlooked, yet they carry substantial significance. 1. Domestic opposition to increased military spending. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's push to double Japan's defense spending by 2027 is a critical point that deserves more attention. The report notes public resistance to military spending in Japan, especially in light of pressing domestic issues such as poverty-level pensions that affect many elderly citizens. This resistance stems from Japan's post-World War II pacifist constitution and a long-standing cultural aversion to militarization. Significance: this dynamic highlights a tension within Japan's political landscape. While the government seeks to enhance its military capabilities in response to regional threats including North Korea, domestic opposition could hinder these efforts. The societal implications of military spending, particularly in terms of resource allocation away from social welfare programs, could lead to political instability and public unrest. Understanding this opposition is crucial for grasping the broader implications of Japan's defense policy and its relationship with the United States. 2. Strategic economic interests in U.S. Steel. The report mentions Nippon Steel's negotiations with U.S. Steel, which have been ongoing since December 2023. However, it's important to note that this investment is not merely about capital infusion but represents a strategic move by Japan to establish a foothold in the U.S. steel industry, which is vital for both economic and defense-related manufacturing capabilities. Significance: the U.S. steel industry is critical for national security as it supports defense manufacturing. By investing in U.S. steel, Japan can enhance its strategic interests and ensure a steady supply of materials that are essential for military applications. This investment also has the potential to facilitate technology transfer and innovation, bolstering Japan's own industrial capabilities in the process. The implications of this strategic economic partnership could reshape the landscape of U.S.-Japan industrial relations. 3. The role of energy imports. Japan's plan to increase imports of American liquefied natural gas (LNG) is significant for several reasons. First, it underscores Japan's need to diversify its energy sources, especially in light of its post-Fukushima energy policy shifts. The choice to import LNG from the U.S. also reflects Japan's strategic pivot away from reliance on Middle Eastern oil, which has been historically volatile. Significance: this shift has broader implications for global energy markets and geopolitics. By securing a stable supply of LNG from the U.S., Japan can enhance its energy security while also contributing to the U.S. economy, thus creating a mutually beneficial relationship. Furthermore, it could serve as a counterbalance to China's growing influence in the Asia-Pacific region as energy security becomes a key component of national security strategy. 4. Technological collaboration and AI development. The discussions around collaboration on artificial intelligence (AI) between the two nations have been brief but are crucial. Japan's interest in working with U.S. tech firms, particularly in AI, suggests a desire to remain competitive in a rapidly evolving technological landscape. Significance: AI is poised to play a transformative role in various sectors including defense manufacturing and consumer technology. By investing in AI partnerships, Japan not only bolsters its technological capabilities but also strengthens its competitive position against other nations, particularly China. The outcome of these collaborations could have far-reaching effects on innovation and economic growth in both countries. 5. Long-term bilateral relations. The framing of the relationship between Japan and the U.S. as entering a new golden age is significant. This terminology suggests a long-term commitment to deepening ties beyond immediate economic transactions. It implies a broader strategic alliance that encompasses military, economic, and technological cooperation. Significance: this perspective is essential for understanding the future trajectory of U.S.-Japan relations. It signals an intention to create a more resilient partnership capable of addressing global challenges such as security threats from North Korea and economic pressures from China. By framing their relationship in this manner, both nations are likely positioning themselves to face future geopolitical challenges collaboratively, potentially reshaping the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region. Conclusion: while the headline figure of $1 trillion captures attention, the nuanced implications of Japan's investment and the surrounding discussions reveal deeper dynamics that are critical for understanding the future of U.S.-Japan relations. The domestic challenges Japan faces regarding military spending, strategic economic interests in U.S. steel, energy import diversification, technological collaboration, and the framing of a long-term partnership are all significant elements that deserve greater attention as the two nations navigate their evolving relationship. Recognizing these overlooked aspects can provide valuable insights into the complexities of international relations in the coming years. 1. Unprecedented investment in economic ties. Japan's commitment to investing up to $1 trillion in the United States is a historically significant move aimed at bolstering bilateral relations and addressing the U.S. trade deficit with Japan. This investment is expected to cover various sectors, notably steel, telecommunications, and energy, with Nippon Steel's interest in U.S. steel being a focal point. The implications of such an investment could reshape economic dynamics between the two nations, fostering deeper collaboration and interdependence. 2. Defense spending and military cooperation. The announcement comes alongside Japan's plan to double its defense spending by 2027, indicating a shift in Japan's defense posture to take greater responsibility for its national security. This commitment highlights the evolving nature of U.S.-Japan relations, where military collaboration is becoming increasingly central. It also reflects a broader trend of nations reassessing their defense strategies in the face of regional threats, particularly from North Korea, and the increasing emphasis on self-reliance in defense. 3. Energy collaboration. The summit also underscored Japan's intention to increase imports of American liquefied natural gas (LNG). This move is part of a broader strategy to diversify Japan's energy sources and enhance energy security while simultaneously addressing trade imbalances. Such energy collaborations can lead to significant economic benefits for both nations, positioning the U.S. as a key energy supplier to Japan. 4. Domestic challenges and public sentiment. Despite these ambitious plans, domestic challenges in Japan, such as public resistance to increased military spending and economic pressures on the elderly population, complicate the narrative. Many Japanese citizens are concerned about the allocation of resources towards defense at a time when economic stability and social welfare are pressing issues. This highlights a potential disconnect between government initiatives and public sentiment, which could influence the sustainability of the proposed investments and defense spending. These points provide a framework for deeper analysis and discussion on the geopolitical and economic implications of Japan's investment in the United States, the evolving nature of defense relationships, energy collaboration, and domestic challenges within Japan. 1. The Marshall Plan 1948–1952. Following World War II, the United States implemented the Marshall Plan, officially known as the European Recovery Program. It aimed to provide economic assistance to rebuild European economies, which had been devastated by the war. The U.S. invested approximately $13 billion, equivalent to over $100 billion today, to help revive Western European nations. This investment helped stabilize these economies, promote trade, and prevent the spread of communism. The Marshall Plan is often cited as a successful example of foreign aid leading to economic recovery and strengthened alliances. 2. The U.S.-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement 2006. this agreement was aimed at enhancing trade and investment relations between the United States and Japan. It focused on reducing tariffs, promoting economic cooperation, and fostering growth in various sectors including agriculture, manufacturing, and services. The partnership included commitments to facilitate bilateral trade, improve market access, and strengthen economic ties. The agreement was significant in cementing Japan's role as a strategic economic partner for the U.S. in Asia. 3. China's Belt and Road Initiative 2013-present, launched by China. The Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) is an ambitious infrastructure and economic development project aimed at enhancing global trade and stimulating economic growth across Asia and beyond. China has committed trillions of dollars to invest in infrastructure projects in various countries aiming to improve connectivity and cooperation on a transcontinental scale. The BRI has increased China's influence in global trade and economics, similar to how Japan's proposed $1 trillion investment could enhance its economic and strategic ties with the U.S. Future outlook: Japan's $1 trillion investment in the U.S. Japan's announcement of a $1 trillion investment in the United States signifies a pivotal moment in international relations, economic strategy, and defense collaboration. As we look to the future, several predictions can be made regarding the implications of this investment for both nations and the global landscape. 1. Strengthened bilateral relations. The investment is likely to lead to a deeper economic partnership between Japan and the U.S. The commitment to invest heavily in American industries, particularly in steel, automotive, and technology sectors, will foster closer ties. This could result in increased joint ventures and collaborative projects, enhancing innovation and competitiveness in both markets. Furthermore, as Japan aims to reduce the U.S. trade deficit, we can expect ongoing negotiations on tariffs and trade policies, leading to a more balanced trade relationship. This shift may also encourage other nations to reconsider their trade strategies with the U.S., potentially leading to new trade agreements or renegotiations of existing ones. 2. Enhanced defense collaboration. Japan's decision to double its defense spending by 2027, coupled with increased military cooperation with the U.S., suggests a significant shift in security dynamics in the Asia-Pacific region. This enhancement is expected to include advanced technology partnerships, joint military exercises, and collaborative defense initiatives aimed at countering regional threats, particularly from North Korea and China. In the long run, this could lead to a more robust security framework in East Asia as Japan takes on greater responsibility for its defense, while also ensuring that U.S. military presence remains a stabilizing factor in the region. Enhanced defense ties may also influence other regional players to reassess their military strategies, potentially leading to a new arms race or strategic alliances. 3. Economic impact on U.S. industries. With Japan's investment focused on key sectors, American industries can anticipate significant growth. The injection of capital, particularly in manufacturing and technology, will likely lead to job creation, modernization of facilities, and increased competitiveness of U.S. firms in global markets. Japanese companies like Nippon Steel investing in U.S. steel may revitalize the American steel industry, which has faced challenges in recent years. This revitalization could not only stabilize the U.S. market but also lead to increased exports of steel products, enhancing the overall economy. 4. Technological advancements. Japan's investment is expected to spur advancements in technology, particularly in artificial intelligence and renewable energy sectors. As both nations collaborate on cutting-edge technologies, we can foresee innovations that may drive the next industrial revolution. This collaboration could yield breakthroughs in various fields, including automotive technologies, where the U.S. and Japan have historically been leaders. Moreover, as Japan increases its imports of American liquefied natural gas (LNG), we may see a shift towards more sustainable energy practices. This partnership could not only enhance energy security but also position both countries as leaders in the transition to renewable energy resources, influencing global energy markets. 5. Domestic challenges in Japan. While the investment presents opportunities for economic growth and enhanced global standing, Japan faces internal challenges that could impact the realization of these goals. Public resistance to increased military spending, compounded by concerns over Japan's aging population and economic stability, might create friction in implementing the proposed defense enhancements. The government will need to navigate these domestic issues carefully to maintain public support for its strategic objectives. Failure to do so could hinder the effectiveness of Japan's increased defense budget and its broader economic initiatives. 6. Global geopolitical implications. The ramifications of this investment extend beyond U.S.-Japan relations. As Japan solidifies its military and economic ties with the U.S., it may influence geopolitical dynamics in the Asia-Pacific region. Countries such as China and Russia may perceive this strengthening of U.S.-Japan relations as a direct challenge, prompting them to adjust their foreign policy and military strategies accordingly. This investment may also encourage other nations in the region to seek closer ties with the U.S. or Japan, leading to new alliances or enhanced cooperation on security and trade issues. The unfolding scenario could reshape the geopolitical landscape, with Japan playing a more active role in regional security matters. Conclusion. Japan's commitment to invest $1 trillion in the United States heralds a new chapter in bilateral relations characterized by enhanced economic collaboration and defense cooperation. While the potential benefits are significant, Japan must address its domestic challenges to fully leverage this investment. As both nations navigate this evolving landscape, the implications of this commitment will resonate across global markets and geopolitical dynamics for years to come.